Bro, you are live.
Okay. What is up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. We are back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom and become the rock star agent in your market. And that's what we're talking about today with our special guest. She's talking about how she hit the 30 under 30 and sold over 23 million in volume last year as a relatively new agent. And so we'll kind of go into her story, what she's doing for lead generation and marketing, how she's working with international clients and selling real estate here in SoCal. So we've got a lot of stuff to get into, guys. First of all, the junior grandmaster himself is live and potentially pissed off and unplugged for a while. We're having technical difficulty before we let him go. So I know Greg is pissed. How are you, Greg?
I'm fucking pissed, dude. I mean, it's so annoying. We have this new shiny system. All of a sudden, it works like dog shit. But anyways, besides that, I'm really having a good day, man. I've had such an awesome day. I got a referral from Israel yesterday. Howard, boom, knuckles to you, homie. Appreciate it, dude. I talked to Aaron, got him connected with a guy up in Tahoe. So when you see this, know I have him in good hands. Everything was going great until I took a quick break, kind of get centered for the show. Got on my handy dandy iPhone, was playing my pool game I love to play, and I lost 2,500 virtual dollars. Very pissed off.
At least they were virtual.
Yeah, I would not bet 2,500 real dollars on pool games. I'm not that crazy pants. But yeah, dude, I'm pumped, man. This is gonna be a great show. Jamie, thanks for joining us. This is just gonna be so much fun. You're an amazing agent right now. You have nowhere to go but absolutely vertical. You're gonna make it fucking rain up in here for people with their knowledge. You're young, you're new, but you just kill it in a very dominant market. So welcome to this very, very boring show called Real Estate Uncensored.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm honored.
Our pleasure.
Yeah. Okay. So give people just a sense of kind of where you're at, how long you've been in the business, when you kind of got in, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I work at Rodeo Realty. I have been in the business for 5 years now. So 5 years ago, I was actually still a senior at UCLA. And my original plan was to go to law school. At the time, I had already finished LSATs and applied to law school. I was waiting for my decisions to come back. And at the time, I was thinking maybe I can get my real estate license on the side. And then, during law school, I can just make some money on the side. So that was my plan. That was my plan. I was like, okay, it's a good plan. Last quarter of school, last couple of quarters, I had some extra time. I didn't have as many classes. So I got my license, and then I just started interviewing for a couple companies, joined Rodeo Realty, and I jumped right into it. And then I found that I really enjoyed it, and I closed my first deal. I was like, this is awesome. I want to work and I want to do this instead of going to law school. At the time, I was going to go to either UCI or Pepperdine, and I had actually paid a deposit at both schools to reserve my spot. And then maybe a week or two before school started, I decided I'm just going to do the real estate thing full time. So that's how it all started.
You sidestepped the law bullet just by inches.
Yeah,
that was a close one. You were almost another lawyer, but yet you have joined the illustrious real estate profession. So congratulations on the wise choice.
Oh man, that's awesome. All right, well let's start off with a question. This is from actually Aaron put this up in the lead gen scripts and objections group, and I'll throw this out to you guys. And we'll start with Baldy put it up there. So we'll start out with you, Jamie. The question is just, so far this year, where have the bulk of your listings come from?
Probably from referrals. So now that I've been in the business for 5 years, before I didn't really have that many referrals except for, family, friends, and things like that. But now that I have been in the business for 5 years, I'm starting to get a lot more referrals, and I'm starting to get clients that previously bought with me and are coming back to sell with me. So that's probably that's the best way to get listings, is to keep in touch with your past clients and make sure you're reaching out to them multiple times a year, which is, harder to do. It's easier said than done,
Can you say that? Can you say that one more time for all the agents that are listening right now?
Yeah, make sure you keep in touch with your past clients. It's really important. They're the people that have already closed with you. They know that you're capable, and they're the best people to get you leads and referrals.
They really are.
And when you get a client from a referral, it's different from just a random lead on the internet because they already have someone who told them that you did a good job. And so they already kind of know you already. And so it's easier to keep that lead.
It's very easy. Like I was talking about the referral I got from Howard and how he, sent it in. And I'm like, well, are you talking to other agents? He's like, no, man, I just trust Howard. Anyone he sends my way, he's good with me. I'm like, well, that was fucking easy. All right, cool.
Exactly.
Gotta get a buy sell out of this thing. But it's really true. But the hardest thing is to stay in touch. So what did you do in your first 5 years? How are you staying in touch? What is the most effective touch method that you found with your clientele?
Well, you definitely should use some kind of CRM to remind you, but I do like holiday cards, definitely for sure. And then if you can if you know or can remember your clients' birthdays, if you can reach out to them on their birthday, that's always nice. And then just maybe a couple other times a year, if you think of them, just reach out on a holiday or something to say hi. And I think that's it. You just have to let them know, just remind you that you're still there.
Yeah. Real estate agents, they think that real estate agents are like movie stars. They think we drive around in Mercedes, only wear nice clothing. And then, if we don't hear or see us,
they may think it's awkward to contact you again because they haven't talked to you for so long.
Exactly. And if you don't reach out to them, they think that you retired on your 2,000-foot yacht and sip martinis all day long while eating bonbons. Well, which is the furthest thing from the truth for anyone that does in real estate. There's no bonbon eating. There's no bonbon eating.
It's Greg does have his weekends.
There is required martini drinking, but no bonbons.
That's a different thing. All right. So Jamie, so that's where kind of the bulk of your business is coming from now. I'm really curious, kind of take us back, let's say 4 or 5 years ago, your first 1 to 2 years in the business. What did you do to kind of jumpstart that process?
Yeah, so I did a lot of internet marketing and social media marketing and things like that. I mean, obviously at the time I was only 21. I didn't have any money or anything. So I only had free options of marketing. So social media was huge for me. And at the time, I think social media wasn't that big for real estate agents. And I was one of the, not first, but one of the early adopters that actually used it heavily. And so I did a lot of social media marketing on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and just building my following. And that's kind of where I got started.
So when it comes to social media, what was the most effective? Did you use Facebook Messenger? Did you post videos of properties? Did you run ads? What did you run? Again, you're 21 years old. Your broke was a joke. You almost went to college. Thank God you didn't. And because now you're getting interviewed by us. But what did you do? Because there's a guy I was talking to who was 19 years old yesterday who was asking the same question.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was 21. I was still in college. I mean, I was still at UCLA and still going to classes. I would I would have to schedule my appointments around my classes.
I'm sorry, sir. I have a meeting I can't avoid.
I can't show this right now. I have a really important.
Oh man, my schedule is just slammed today. Oh,
I'm taking so many units this quarter. I mean, I have a board meeting to go to. Damn it.
Right. So at the time, I went on social media and I just started, posting things that were relevant to real estate. I would go to open houses, post houses that I saw. I would write about things that I saw. I think this is a good investment. I would use Facebook and Instagram probably the most, and I would just post things. And then at first nobody liked it or cared. I had 10 followers, but just slowly as I started building it up, I started actually getting, buyers, other agents from out of town, and started getting referrals. So it started working, and you have to, whatever you do for marketing, what I learned is that you have to stick to it for a long time, like a year. If you do it for a couple months, you probably won't close anything from it, and then you're gonna give up. And then it probably could have worked if you did it for a year, but if you didn't try it long enough, then you'll never know.
It's so true. But all of us agents, we got the shiny object syndrome, and not working. We're off to something else, another new shiny thing that can do it. But you're so right on that. The fact that staying on a path, having a business plan. I don't care if it's 1 page or 100 pages, but having a path, an idea where you're going and how you're going to get there, and being dedicated to your schedule, to post on Instagram, to post on Facebook, to engage with people, ask questions. I love what you did about getting on and talking about how, hey guys, 123 Main Street over here is a great investment or great property. Here's the laundry list of reasons why. Give me a call.
Right, exactly. And I would post about upcoming new developments and things like that, and people appreciated it and found me that way. And so social media has been really good for me, and it's something that you can continue to build up, and it only grows exponentially once you build a following. So that's what's really cool about it.
Now, where you started to where you are today, what kind of return are you still posting the same amount that you posted in the beginning, or have you kind of dialed that back? Have you hired a firm or someone else to do that side for you? Where are you with that?
I post more now than I did before. I do all the posting myself because I feel like it's more authentic that way, and I want it to be genuine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I do that. I do some Facebook ads sometimes now that I can afford ads.
Imagine that.
Yeah, exactly. Facebook is cool because they have targeted ads that you can target your specific audience that you want to target. So
are you targeting demographically, or are you starting with your existing database? Like, how are you targeting?
You can target usually like geographically, probably is the best way to target. If you're marketing a certain property, you probably target around that area or people that work or live around that area.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Makes sense. And you mentioned that you're posting more now than you did before. So how are you incorporating that kind of into your daily schedule? Do you have things that are set, or are you just kind of doing it kind of in between appointments?
I just do it as I go along. So, I mean, social media is changing now. A lot of it is more live and, instant, and everyone does the stories and everything. So I'll post Instagram and Facebook stories as I'm going to my appointments, and just put myself out there more. And it's another way to stay in touch with your clients and friends too, and remind them that you're a realtor without telling them directly, and actually calling them and saying, hey, I just wanted to remind you that I'm a realtor. You know what I mean? Like, they see your posts and they'll keep you in mind, and they'll know that you're working every day. So when they think of someone for a referral, they'll probably think of you.
Yeah. Hopefully, pray to baby Jesus that they do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or otherwise, we're just not doing our jobs. And I think the subtle side to it a lot is something that we talked about here on the show, is a couple of different sites like realtytimes.com, where you can go read an article and regurgitate it back out onto social media, doing market updates, property updates, neighborhood updates. It was a couple of different sites. Are you doing stuff like that, or are you doing just strict organic Jamie's, day in the life of Jamie?
Yeah, definitely, of course. Property updates, just data, information. I'll show recent sales, properties that I'm showing. So it's just everything. And then if you can hit a certain whatever farm or client base that you're marketing towards, if you can hit them in different ways, like, for example, maybe through Facebook ads, through geographic farming, maybe through also traditional mailers to the same farm. Like, if you hit them in different ways, it's going to be like a lot better than if you only hit them in one method.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and I talked about Airland and Sea. You took the fucking words out of my mouth. Damn it. Literally.
Come on, you got to be quick, Greg. You got to be quick. All right, so Jamie, let's talk about geographic farming a little bit. Is that something have you gone deep on that? Have you just kind of dabbled into it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of agents that have been in the business for longer probably have more insight into that. I do geographic farming. I've been doing it for a while now. It does work. It's very expensive, but it is a great way to get into a neighborhood. And I think that it's not going to go away. I mean, everybody checks their mail still. So
yeah, it's one of those things where it's counterintuitive as direct mail, like as we've gotten this perception that it's not effective anymore. Right. A bunch of people have stopped doing it, and now so it's come back full circle, and now it's more effective because now you only get like 1 or 2 pieces of mail a day. So it actually makes a difference when you get something.
Matt, no, shush. Terry's going to watch. Terry's going to watch this.
I know we don't want to encourage your dad. I know.
Fuck. If you encourage him to do mailings again, then I'm going to have to deal with it. I'm blaming your ass for that.
All right. So I do have a question for you, Jamie. This is from Amy, who's in the audience watching right now. She said, I would love to hear Jamie's philosophy on support staff and teams. I find that male versus female agents often have very different perspectives. So I love hearing from fellow tough woman agents. Jamie, I don't know if you ever said you were a tough woman agent, but I don't know, maybe you are tough on people. But I'd love to hear kind of your perspective. Do you have any support staff or plans to bring on support staff for you?
Yeah, I do have a TC, a transaction coordinator, that takes care of all my documentation and, you know, making sure that all the paperwork is in and done correctly. And I have a good team and staff at the office that does my marketing design and everything. I'm not sure if I understand her question. What is she just asking, like how to manage your staff, or?
Yeah, like if you had gotten to the point where you had a dedicated assistant, or let's say a transaction manager who's communicating with your sellers, which it sounds like you're still handling that part of it yourself.
Yeah, so I don't have I actually don't have like a personal assistant or anyone that's, but my transaction coordinator does directly talk to buyers and sellers, you know, at times. And you just have to, I think, manage your expectations and make sure that they know what you expect, what, you know, your quality of customer service that you expect is. And as long as you make sure that your expectations are given to them up front, then they should be able to follow them. And if they don't follow them, then you just have to find someone new. Finding help is very difficult. One of the reasons that I don't have an assistant yet is because I haven't found someone that I think is really good.
You know, I searched for years for Matt, you know.
Man. That was good. That's solid burn, Greg. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Oh man. Yeah, that is true though. I mean, I was just talking to, well, actually, Greg, I was talking to Dr. Deborah Dupree before we hopped on here, and Deborah's a past guest on the show. We're just chatting about where her coaching and speaking business is at, and that's where she's at, which is she has like just everybody, and I run into so many people like this, whether it's in real estate or whether they're speaking and consulting, but there's so many things that they could do. There's things that they know that would push their business forward. And they're in the position where, look, I don't have time to do it all. It's just below my pay grade in terms of it's not quite the most valuable things that I can do with my time, but the stuff still needs to be done. And yeah, it takes a lot of time to put the ads out, do the pre-screening interviews, send them through some time, you know, some kind of test to figure out whether they're actually good, whether they actually pay attention to detail. Like you have to have kind of a process. And yeah, I mean, it's only from me being forced to go through it myself that I have any inkling or insight into how to do it correctly, and then learning from all the people that I've interviewed in the team side, because yeah, it's definitely not easy. And unless you have like a whole bunch of applicants, Jamie, you've got to be and unless you're actually flooded with people, it's very hard to find that needle in a haystack.
Well, it's hard to find because you know, it's easy to find team members, let's say buyers agents or people who want to work for you and work your leads with you, but it's hard to find someone who wants to be an assistant and stay an assistant. Like I don't want to find someone who wants to be my assistant just to learn from me, but to leave 2 months later
to
and
go compete with you,
my ideas and compete with me. I want someone who, you know, has that personality where they're not maybe that kind of person that wants to be a realtor, but just is better as an assistant and can stay with me in the long term. So, you know, I'm looking for someone like that. If you're out there, holler at me.
You know, we've been incredibly blessed. We actually have one of those, Eileen, and we have another one, Midori, and we just fell in our lap. And when it clicks, it clicks.
And then, you're like, it's almost like family, and then it works. Yeah.
It is.
So that's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Like a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, significant other. When it clicks, it clicks. When it doesn't, it doesn't.
Right.
You know, so you guys don't, when you're out there looking for an assistant like Jamie's doing, she's being very picky and, you know, precise about what she's looking for. Don't just run all willy nilly into the first person that you see and like, oh, you got 2 legs and a heartbeat. Come on, let's go do paperwork. No. Because they will use you and abuse you if you're not careful, and then they will be your competition on the listing presentations.
Yeah,
using your tricks. So don't do that.
Well, I have 2 thoughts on that in terms of Jamie. Like when you do decide to bring somebody on, just things that I've noticed that have worked for other people is like when you talk about bringing on somebody that doesn't have the desire to go out and compete in an admin person. Like, have you ever given somebody like the disc assessment and made them go take that before they interview with you?
I just found out about disc assessments recently, so I think I'm definitely going to use that.
Yeah. So if you like the traditional role for like admin is a high SC, so they're very process oriented. They're more seeking more stability, and they can follow processes, checklists, systems. You know, they're very happy in a stable environment like that. They're not going to wait. They're not the ones that are going to want to go out and then compete with you.
Right.
But there is a caveat to that. You can find, and Greg, I think this is where someone like your team manager, Eileen, fits in, which is she has enough of the D and the I to get things done, to push the process forward. And she's amazing with people, but she doesn't have the risk tolerance to go out on her own. She has no desire to go start her own business. And so there's an opportunity there. If you can find that person, they can be very similar to you in how they deal with your clients, but not want to go out and do everything themselves. Like that's one of those, that's like a diamond in the rough.
Yeah. It's definitely hard to find.
It is. Yeah, it's not easy. But anyway, all right. So let's turn back to the lead generation side. So you've, you're doing free social media. A couple years ago, I'm assuming you started off with buyers. And am I right in that, or was it a mix right off the bat?
Definitely started off with buyers. It's easier to get buyers to trust you, so it's easier to start that way. But I did hit the pavement too, and I went door knocking. And door knocking works too. I mean, it's not my favorite thing to do, but it's also free. And so, if you have the time, and you should definitly give it a try.
Yeah. I started my business off doing door knocking. I door knocked for a year. I got really good at door knocking, and I went up and I trained people to door knock in your neck of the woods. I've trained people around the country, and no matter if you're in the more working class or the upper echelon, houses, people still put their pants on one leg at a time. They still want to have a personal interaction with another human being. If you're genuinely honest, kind, and out there with a giving spirit, not with a taking mentality, and you're out there to make a connection and have a conversation, door knocking can be very effective, and you get to know the neighborhood extremely well. Why that person's remodeling, this person's doing new front yard, that looks like a yard sale going to happen. What's going on over there? You can talk to the neighbors and get a feel for that neighborhood if you're just starting out. Jamie, did you find that to be true in your door knocking days, like when you're doing it more than you are now?
Definitely. Obviously certain neighborhoods may be more open to door knockers, and when you go into super high end neighborhoods, a lot of time you're talking to maids and housekeepers. But definitely everyone, seeing someone in person is always going to be different. And a lot of the times, if you door knock in the area that you like farm or do other ads, I'll go door knock and they'll open the door and they'll say, "Hey, I've seen you before. Like, where have I seen you?" And I'll say, "Probably on my postcard." And then it just makes it a lot more memorable and interesting for them to talk to you, and they remember you. And even if they're not looking to sell now, or somebody that add to your kind of like your Rolodex, and they'll keep noticing your ads. And like I've had clients or people that have opened the door. They say like, "Oh, I've seen your postcards. Seen your business grow over the past few years. I've seen like your sales are getting bigger." And people notice things like that. So.
Yeah, they really do. When I remember going to listing appointments back 18 plus years ago with my dad in the very, very beginning, people would take vanilla envelopes like this and literally dump out like years and years and years worth of his postcards.
They keep them.
They're hoarders. They're postcard hoarders.
Exactly, especially if you put any information on them that is even somewhat useful. Like, surprising. You only need like one person to keep it. Most people will throw it out, but a few people will keep it.
They look at it like, see, okay, so when I got this card, see, so that house sold for this much and this home sold for that much. You're like, "Ma'am, that's 3 years old."
Right.
Well, I know, but I think I can get somewhere around that. I think I can get you more than that.
Yeah.
You can?
Exactly.
It is pretty funny. But I got a question, Jamie. Since you're now more seasoned and you're getting your legs underneath you, and you already have them there, what were your bread and butter clients in the very beginning? What are they now? Have they shifted? I know referrals are more your shtick now, but what does that look like, and how did that progression take place?
Yeah, so I am Chinese, so I do speak Chinese. So that's a big part of my business. Probably maybe 1/3 to half my clients are Chinese. And that includes people from overseas that are investors, as well as local Chinese people. And so in the west side of Los Angeles where I work, Beverly Hills, surrounding areas, there's not that many Chinese agents. So I'm lucky in that regard, in that when clients are looking for me, they can find me. And so a lot of my clients are Chinese. When I first started out, I was obviously younger. So I work with a lot of younger people that are looking for their first condo, first-time home buyers. I started in a much lower price range. I mean, my first sale was only 230,000, which is like really, really low for Los Angeles. And it was like a 1-bedroom condo, just a guy who didn't want to rent anymore and wanted to buy a single guy who wanted to buy a condo. So like I work with like young people like that or young couples, and started off, and then I just slowly started increasing my price range. Basically, each sale would get a little bit bigger and bigger, and then the average would get higher and higher. So that's kind of how I started. Yeah.
Very cool.
There was the guy I was talking to yesterday. He's 19 years old, and he didn't quite sink in that he shouldn't be going for listings, talking to people in their 40s, 50s, 60s and older. Cause they're like, how old are you? They're like 19. He's like 19. They're like, no, because, I said, look, go work with the buyers. Anyone can work with a buyer. You don't need to be older or younger or experienced. Just open the damn door. Don't call her mama ugly and don't kick him in the shins, and you can get the deal. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's what you did it exactly the right way. And I hope he listens to me, because you're obviously thriving right now by doing it. And it's just, but everyone gets told. Were you told this when you started out, like listings are life or listings are leverage, or you got to get a listing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Everybody, all the agents obviously listings are great. And all the agents at my office would always say like listings, it's the only way that you can guarantee you're going to get paid or whatever. You're not going to waste your time.
What?
But I don't know. Listings is only half of the business. The other half is buyers. So
exactly.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. The whole like guaranteeing that you get something out of it, which I know where they're coming from. Yeah. But how do you work? Because I know what Greg is going to say, and I've heard his answer like 1,000 times. I don't want to hear it again. So I want to hear from you, Jamie. Like, how do you make sure the buyers kind of understand that you're working for them and that they should continue to work with you exclusively? Do you have them sign an agreement? Do you not? And if you don't, like, is there some scripting that you use to kind of help them understand what your role is so that you don't lose out on those deals? Yeah,
that's a good question. When I first started, I was taught like, have all your buyers sign an exclusive. You don't want to waste any time, and then I remember like one of the first clients I had, I was like, all right, here's the document, like sign this. They're like, are you serious? And then I never heard from them again. So after that, I never did that again.
Oh my God, Jamie, so thank you for reinforcing that. I have told my story about the exact same thing. I'm like, well, here's this document you have to sign to only work with me, and they're like, too. They were looking for like over $1 million house at the time. Yep. I didn't have any leads. I was like, this is great. It's like, meet me at my office. I got the paperwork all ready. You sign right here. And they're just like, why would I sign this? What if another agent finds me a better property, Yeah. So the thing is, for me, so I don't do that anymore. I just try to provide them as much knowledge and, expertise as I can. And hopefully the knowledge and the way that I interact with them is better than their interaction with the other agent, and then they're going to choose me. And if in the end they don't, then it probably wasn't meant to be anyway. Yeah. But so it comes at that point, it's up to you to develop that relationship.
Exactly. It's all about the relationship. It's just like making friends or finding a boyfriend or girlfriend or a husband or wife, finding a client. You have to click too. So that's why there's so many agents out there, and we all have different clients, because every client, fits with different agents. So there may be certain types of clients that fit for you, and there may be ones that don't fit for you. So, obviously we're trying to get every client we can, but we have to focus our time on the ones that are possible. And if you don't, for me, it's kind of like a numbers game, and like rejection is something that you have to learn to accept and move on quickly from. So for me, at first it was like, when I first started in the business, when I got rejected, I was really down on myself. But now it's like, I don't even think about it for more than 1 second. It's like, okay, I don't have time anyway. I have to move on to a new lead anyway. So it's fine. You just have to, it's a numbers game, and you just have to work with the clients that like you and fit with you. But all you can do is just provide the best knowledge and advice, and then.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Lily and I were at open house. She was helping me do open house 2 weekends ago, and this family came through. The guy was a severe douchebag. The wife was super snooty. The daughter was just, I don't know what universe she was in. But Lily's like, dude, Greg, go talk to him. Like, fuck that, dude. that guy's an ass. I am not working with that dude, because I knew that he wasn't my tribe. He wasn't my people's. He and I were not going to click at all, because I was talking to him. He literally turned around and walked the other way in the house. I'm like, all right, pal, but it's true. Jimmy, what you said there is very powerful. And I don't think everyone caught that. What you're doing when you're choosing your clients, you're protecting your time. Your time is your most valuable asset in this business. You bring time and knowledge. Those are the two things. You don't actually have a house for sale. That's not your house. That's someone else's house. So your time and your knowledge is what your valuable assets are. So protect them at all times, because people will use you. They will abuse you. They will take advantage of you. So make sure you work with the right people. So that goes to you, girl.
Well, this isn't about Greg's love life, so let's move on. But I do have a question for you. So if you were starting over today, like, is there anything that you do differently, either knowing what you know now versus what you did then, or maybe just having some of the tools that you have available to you now versus what was available then?
I think I kind of already touched on this, but I would stick at what I'm doing for longer. So when I first started, I switched farms around every month. I would send one postcard over here and then send one over there, and then do just try. I was like, send one postcard. Nope, it didn't work. That neighborhood's no good. Or things like that, where I would try something and then just immediately give up on it. And now I know from experience that it probably would have worked if I just did it longer. Maybe I could have chose less things to do and just did 2 of them instead of trying 10 things and doing them all for a month. And then so that's probably the only advice I would give to myself back then, is just make a plan, choose a couple things that you like doing tomorrow. For prospecting, you have to like what you're doing too. So if you hate door knocking or you hate cold calling, don't do that. Do something that you like. So maybe choose 2 or 3 that you're good at and you like, and then really stick to doing it and do it for a long time. It will work. I promise you.
It really will. And I have Midori, my team manager. She hates cold calls. I mean, she calls them soul suckers. And so she doesn't do them, and she does other stuff for prospecting. And she actually does it because she likes it and she gets results.
Exactly.
Don't listen to every other Tom, Dick, and Harry in the offices, guys. Figure out what you like to do. Matt enjoys drinking coffee and sits at Starbucks, 90% of the day, And so that's a great way to meet people. If you're an agoraphobe, you never come out of your house. Which, Jamie, that's an inside joke. What do you mean? But the thing is that Jimmy, what was your number one favorite thing to do now for prospecting? Number one thing. Is it going out networking, popping by and seeing somebody, waiting for a card, someone to respond to a card? I mean, what's your go-to? What's that thing?
My favorite thing is social media, because it's so satisfying if I get a lead and I know that it's working. But networking is always fun. But I mean, obviously going out and meeting people is fun, but it's tiring too. It's hard to get yourself to go out at the end of the day. So it's not my favorite thing to do, but I have to push myself to do it.
You're like, come on, free drinks and snacks. I can do this.
Hors d'oeuvres.
The agents unite. Free food.
Or a quick question for you, Jamie. Are you doing anything? You mentioned Instagram earlier. Is there anything in particular that you're finding working well for you?
Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, they all work really well for me. So I think they all work more and more for me now that I have a big following, obviously. But as you build up your following, it just exponentially grows. So
yeah. What was it that you did, going back to, you briefly mentioned LinkedIn when you first got started. How were you connecting to people and reaching out to people to kind of grow that initial following? I'm
just reaching out to people that are in my industry, or, there's a lot of types of people that can refer clients to you, whether it's attorneys, CPAs, sports agents, there's a lot of different types of people that you can meet that can refer clients to you. So I would just reach out to them and just say, hey, I'm Jamie. Nice to meet you. We work in the same area. Do you want to have lunch? Or, or maybe we can just keep each other's contact info. And so it's just a great way to meet people and reach out to people. And it's kind of different from Instagram or Facebook, because people are more they have a more work mindset. So it's less random people talking to you,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's you can reach out to people locally, so it's really easy to find people that are in the same area that work with the same kind of clientele. So you got that going for you. So yeah, that's one of the things. The reason I asked is we touch on that in our live class, the Getting Out Business. We talk about LinkedIn and how to find people and what some of those industries are. You mentioned sports agents is a unique one. We don't have that on our list because, obviously LA has a lot of that, both sports and talent, celebrity talent agents. If you're in Jacksonville, Florida, they may not be a lot of sports agents there to tap into. So your local area is going to be different, but there's all those. I mean, CPAs and financial advisors have got to be amazing, especially if you want to work in high end or luxury, because they're the ones that are being hired by those clients. Anything having to do with financial services,
estates planning lawyers. They're definitely great people to be in contact with.
Yeah. So basically you reached out on LinkedIn, you asked them, explain who you were, asked them if they wanted to grab a lunch, or did you ever just pitch them on having a quick call just to connect?
Yeah, for sure. Or sometimes you just email back and forth, have a quick call, it just depends on the person and you kind of feel it out whether you want to meet or just keep their contact info for the future.
Yeah. Cool. Very, very good strategy. Something for everybody to think about. And so Nuria says, tell us more about your social media marketing. We covered that. Let's see. Big money. Anyway. Okay. So we got people like talking to each other in the comment section. I just want to make sure that we got all their questions answered. So Jamie, what's the best way if people want to just connect with you, link up with you and kind of follow what you're doing? What's the best places and how do they find you?
Yeah, definitely. You can follow my Instagram. It's at Jamie Tien. It's just my first and last name. You could follow my Facebook. It's I think it's Jamie Tien RE or Jamie Tien Real Estate. And then you can go to my website, jamietien.com, which has all of my contact info, my email, my cell phone, my social media. So you can follow me on any of those. If you just want to see what I'm doing or if you want to reach out to me, you can always. I'm a realtor, so I pretty much always answer my phone, my text. You can WeChat me, WhatsApp me. I've got all of those apps.
Oh my God. All of those are going to blow up now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. By the way, what's the best?
Starting to ring. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he probably did.
What do you find works really well for communicating with clients, especially internationally?
Internationally, yeah. So I just mentioned WeChat and WhatsApp. Those are probably the two biggest ones that people use. Everyone in China uses WeChat. So if you're Chinese, you have to have WeChat. It's like, it's crazy. WeChat is like a combination of Facebook, text message, voice message, Instagram, Yelp, like Open Table, all of those apps. It's all in one app. So I saw this video the other day that said, and it was kind of scary, like basically it's a Chinese app, right? And the Chinese government has control over everything and they're tracking like every information about everyone in China basically. And they know what you're talking about with your friends. They know where you're checking in to eat. They know where you're, everything that they do through that app, it's all being tracked and so much information for the government. So it's kind of scary.
Facebook is providing that to our government. So
yeah, exactly. But it's scary. WeChat has so many more features than Facebook even. And so
I think I read an article where Facebook is emulating a lot of the features of, and I think they were talking about WeChat because that's where Facebook is trying to take Messenger, is to be that kind of all things to all people. You have it open all the time. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. We need to get our butts in gear and start building up our Facebook Messenger, like permission-based list.
Right.
People will allow us to communicate with them via Messenger for like notifications about the show and email lists. And that's kind of, I've been hearing chatter, and we just had the guy named Nick Sakis on the show, Greg, was last week. He, briefly alluded to that. We didn't get much time to get into it, but with the interesting things coming down the pipe with chatbots and stuff like that, it's going to be, there's a big opportunity for like younger agents that jump onto it to start building up a Facebook Messenger list instead of an email list.
Yeah. Right. I mean, right now what I'm doing is I'm sending out 10 to 40 Facebook Messenger voice messages out to people, kind of wanting to just say, look, hey, Matt, hey, Jamie, we're friends on Facebook. I'd love to, help you build your business. What's your perfect client like? Let's get together. Let me see if we can build our businesses, mutually. It's insane the amount of return I get on that. And it takes a minute per message max.
Yep.
And And it takes just maybe that day, or it ramps up and you all of a sudden get flooded with messages back and people are trying to help you build your business. This is what they're looking for. Very powerful stuff, guys. And I'm fully on board with you on that one. The messenger is a huge opportunity. Maybe we just jump on WeChat and start doing it internationally on that stuff. I downloaded it and it is pretty damn cool. It is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool because, Chinese is like so hard to type. So we can send each other like voice messages. And then it's cool because with the time difference, you can send a little voice message and they can listen to it later when they're awake or whatever, and it doesn't like ring their phone and call them in the middle of the night. It just leaves a little voice message, a blurb, and they can just watch it or listen to it later. And you can send documents and everything.
It's a handy dandy little site, Matt. You should get with the times. Get rid of that clamshell, okay? We're gonna get you.
But for me, I try to use whatever my clients like. So if they like WeChat, I'll talk to you on WeChat. If you have some obscure app that you want to use, then I can download that one too.
Bob's app.
Yeah. I'm going the opposite direction. I'm with Frank from Viral Marketing. I'm getting rid of my phone, getting rid of the iPhone. Yeah.
No, you're not.
Oh man. That's the direction I'm going. So, all right. So, Greg, let's button things up and briefly mention Get Now Business. I'll let you handle that, and then we'll tell people how to connect with us.
Okay, but before we leave, I want to hear Jamie's rebuttals to being too young to be in the business. I want to hear that. At the very end. So you guys better stick around. She's got good shit.
Yeah, that's definitely a challenge, right? Being young and looking young, people judge you immediately upon meeting you. I've had clients say to me, you're younger than my son or daughter. And they wouldn't know a thing about real estate, right? So, I mean, that's always going to be a problem when you look young and there's nothing you can do except wait to look older.
Please, can I look older?
But what you can do is you can prove yourself. So I always try to respond really quickly, respond with a lot of information, and prove my expertise. And if the person gives you a time of the day and gives you a chance, you can probably prove yourself and prove that you have just as much knowledge and information as an older agent. And actually you might be better because you're more tech savvy. You can respond quicker. You're actually more efficient, so I try to show them that if you text me on my phone or you send me an email, I'm going to respond immediately versus, I don't know, someone who isn't used to having an iPhone, their whole life. They used to do their business by delivering the document to you in person and things like that. That not everybody wants that. Some people want that and they may not be the best fit for me, but a lot of people now are all about efficiency. They want their Amazon Prime delivered immediately. So if you just prove yourself in that way, I think a lot of people appreciate millennials and can appreciate that you're young and different and maybe you have more drive and energy and time. So that's kind of what you can show them. Yeah.
It's really good.
Dude, when I started in the business, this is no joke, guys. I was having the same problem because I started when I was 20, 21. And I legitimately had the idea of going in and getting gray streaks into my hair and getting a fake wedding ring so that I would look maybe a little bit older, and they might take, because it's predominantly everyone's married in this community. So maybe I might blend in. Then I'm like, oh, fuck, that's going to totally screw up my dating chances. Nah, screw that.
That's right. Priorities, Greg.
Not going to be worth it. Okay, guys. Hey, Get Now Business this is what the show is sponsored by Get Now Business. It is a live class that Matt and I do host. We are going to be booking for the September classes. It's on Tuesday at 9 a.m. We run it for a month. We're going to teach you guys how to not door knock, not cold call, how to get business now. It means within 90 days, close deals. If you do what we say to do, there's business, there's money, there is opportunity sitting right here, smack in front of your face, but you just don't know what to look for, so you don't see it. So we will take the blinders off, point you in the right direction, slap you on the ass, and get you out the door. It's a lot of fun. Matt and I are going to go back and forth on scripts, techniques, technology, old school, new school. There's a variety pack for everybody in there. And we also made it so that if you have no budget, like when Jamie started, no money, it's $500 or less every month in your spend. And we'll show you how to set up networking events through a company that we're working with. We're going to show you how to do calling systems. We're going to show you if you want to call like your database or something like that. But there's also so much. Matt's going to go deep on LinkedIn, on what he does and what you can do, Facebook, messengers and groups and the whole 9 yards, guys. So I'm going to put the link in here for you guys on iTunes and Stitcher. Come on, go to Get Now business.com, and you can take a look at it, sign up. We only take 20 students, guys, and we max out nearly every single time. So don't be caught with the pants down and not in the cool kid club. So get over there, sign up, and we're going to change your life.
I was interviewing a couple of guys today out in Baltimore, and one of the sayings that they pass around their team in their sales meetings is, "Doesn't Matt look? Isn't he just cooler now that he's making more money? Doesn't he just seem cooler?" That's a good way to motivate yourself. All right, guys. So for the show, make sure to subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube, depending on whether you want the audio or video versions. You can also go to reuncensored.com to check out all of the stuff that we've got going on, just to check into the show and see what we've got. When you check that, if you're listening to the sound of my voice and it is after, let's say, the 20th of August, next week, we'll have our new website is out there and launched, and like a toddler springing off into the real world, it will be out and open for you to see. So that's really cool. And then I think that's it, Greg. So let's put a nice little bow on this one and take it home.
All right, Jamie, you're an amazing guest. Thank you for your time on the show today. Guys, thank you for joining us on the show. As always, peace out, ninjas. We got.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me, and thanks for joining us, everyone.